lush tropical landscape, sunny skies and turquoise seas, this could only be the Caribbean. For hundreds of years, it's enticed people from every corner of the globe, bringing with them different cultures and, of course, food, creating the world's original fusion cuisine. Where else can you experience the flavours of Spain, France, England, India, China and Africa, sometimes all in the same dish? I've come to sample the truly international flavours of the islands of the Caribbean. I begin my journey in Puerto Rico for a taste of Latin life. And then on to the small island of St. Kitts to sample the Caribbean's best seafood. The native Amerindian people had long cultivated crops like pineapples, guava and papaya. The Spanish introduced delicacies from the Old World as well as the food of the African slaves they brought with them. I took a tour of the Santurce market in San Juan with Miguel Campis and Tito Guardiola, two local chefs who explain the origins of Caribbean food. Wow, these are really interesting. I don't recognise some of these, so tell me more about the ingredients.
Over here we got the yuca root, which is the cassava root. Over here we got the malanga, which is the taro root. The sweet potatoes, we got the Caribbean pumpkin, and also in here we got the papaya.
Many of these fruits and vegetables were brought by our native Indians. They settled us from Central America and went island hopping up the islands.
But they settled here because they like Puerto Rico the best, eh?
And for example, the pineapple was named by the Spaniards because it resembles a pine cone. And these fruits and vegetables were paired with crabs and fish, which is very abundant here in the Caribbean. So that's their main diet. And here we have one of our favorite ingredients, the plantain, which is more or less a relative of the banana, which is a fruit and sweet. But this is much starchier and we use it like a vegetable.
Well, yeah, they were brought by the Spaniards when they brought the African to Puerto Rico, and nowadays it's become part of our daily diet.
And what amazes me is the way you use it like a potato. You fry it, you mash it. I've even had a plantain lasagna, which was delicious.
That's right.
So other than the plantain, what other African-influenced ingredients are there here in Puerto Rico?
Well, the Africans brought the mango, the ginger, the grapefruit, the mandarin oranges, which they use to marinate meats like pork.
There's a saying here in Puerto Rico, there's 100 different ways to cook plantain, and Campus and Tita here are going to show me two of their favourites. So Campis, what are you going to cook?
We have a ripe plantain and chorizo stuffed chicken breast, which we're going to serve with some rice and red peppers.
Delicious! And what plantain pleasure are you going to cook for me today, Tito?
Well, for you I have some mashed green plantains. We're going to be serving it with mahi-mahi and passion beurre blanc. It's going to be excellent.
Well, let's get cooking, guys!
Yeah!
One thing Puerto Ricans just love to do is dance. It's in their blood.
All right, we're going to stuff the chicken breast with some ripe plantain, which has been fried. We also have some chorizo. We're going to dress this with a little bit of annatto oil for some color, okay? All we have to do now is season it with salt and pepper.
Okay, I'll do that.
What we have in here is some green plantain, which I've already mashed and fried. And now I'm just going to reheat it in the pan. We're going to season the fish. We're going to add little salt, little pepper, and we're going to add the juice of half a lemon.
Okay, so we're going to put it in a hot pan and saute it for 3 to 5 minutes on each side.
Now that the plantain is warmed through, it's time for the mahi-mahi.
Pan fry it for around 5 to 6 minutes.
So we're ready for the rice. We're going to add some red peppers, a tablespoon of the cilantro oil, and to this we're going to put some fully cooked white rice.
Campy, can I try?
Of course.
Yummy!
So now our fish is almost done. We're going to add the passion fruit to start our delicious sauce. Add some butter and finish this delicious, simple sauce.
We're going to garnish the plate with some plantain chips and a drizzle of cilantro oil.
After our hard day's cooking, we were joined by my old friends Miguel and Tito to savour Norma's fabulous pork dish.
Well, it's like a big melting pot of flavors and cultures, you know. We got, for example, in this dish, the cassava was original vegetables that the Taínos use. And the pork and the guava and the cheese were all brought from Africa and Spaniards. So it's a big melting pot of flavors and culture.
Actually, food is a reflection of culture, and our culture is a happy culture, a simple culture. So it's a shadow of our feelings and how we are, you know. We're simple and we're fun, so that's how our food is.
Just want to say one thing, guys. Thank you for looking after me. Cheers. I'll be back.
Okay, we're waiting for you.
Salud.
Salud.